Hello, everybody. Tonight I'm reading from the Spark Storybook Bible, page 306, the story of Martha and Mary. I just love that story. Jesus and his disciples were traveling. Along the way, Jesus decided they would visit with their friends, Mary and Martha. Mary and Martha were sisters. They lived in a house together. They got along very well, most of the time at least. While Jesus visited with them, Mary sat on the floor and listened to Jesus teach. Martha, on the other hand, was very busy. She didn't have time to sit down. She cooked olives, fish, and bread. She cleaned, sweeping the dirt floor and shaking out mats. Martha worked hard to make Jesus' visit special. As she hurried around, she saw Mary sitting down with Jesus. She thought, why doesn't she help me with the cleaning? A few minutes later, Mary was still sitting as Martha worked. Martha got a little bit angry. Ahem, she cleared her throat, thinking Mary could at least help me get this meal ready. All of these people to feed, and she isn't helping one little bit. Martha continued hurrying around, getting angrier by the minute. As she swept, she thought, Mary knows how to use a broom. As she cooked, she said to herself, humph, I think my sister could at least stir this pot. As she got water and towels ready for cleaning Jesus' hands, she grumbled to herself, grr, all this company and I'm doing all the work. Finally, when she was still working and Mary was still sitting, Martha couldn't take it anymore. She burst into the room, interrupted what Jesus was saying, put her hands on her hips and said angrily, Mary, please get up and help me. She looked at Jesus. Jesus, tell Mary to get up and do something. Jesus stopped what he was doing. Everything was quiet for a minute. Finally, Jesus looked at Martha. With love, he said, Martha, Martha, you are worried about every little thing. Thank you for your work to make my visit comfortable, but you do not need to worry about all those things. Mary has decided to sit and listen to me, and that is a good decision. Martha thought to herself, maybe I should just sit down and listen to what Jesus has to say, at least for a minute. Maybe Mary has a good idea. So she sat and listened, and that was a good decision. Well, the story I'd like to read to you tonight is called Have You Filled a Bucket Today? Written by Carol McLeod and illustrated by David Messing. All day long, everyone in the whole wide world walks around carrying an invisible bucket. You can't see it, but it's there. You have a bucket. Every member of your family has a bucket. Your grandparents, friends, and neighbors all have buckets. Everyone carries an invisible bucket. Your bucket has one purpose only. Its purpose is to hold your good thoughts and good feelings about yourself. You feel happy and good when your bucket is full. And you feel sad and lonely when your bucket is empty. Other people feel the same way too. They're happy when their buckets are full, and they're sad when their buckets are empty. It's great to have a full bucket. And this is how it works. Other people can fill your bucket, and you can fill theirs. You can fill your own bucket too. So, how do you fill a bucket? You fill a bucket when you show love to someone, when you say or do something kind, or even when you give someone a smile. That's being a bucket filler. A bucket filler is a loving, caring person who says and does nice things to make others feel special. When you treat others with kindness and respect, you fill their bucket. But you can also dip into a bucket and take out some good feelings. You dip into a bucket when you make fun of someone, when you say or do mean things, or even when you ignore someone. That's bucket dipping. Bullying is bucket dipping. When you hurt others, you dip into their bucket. You will dip into your own bucket too. Many people who dip have an empty bucket. They may think they can fill their own bucket by dipping into someone else's, but that will never work. You never fill your own bucket when you dip into someone else's. But guess what? When you fill someone's bucket, you fill your own bucket too. You feel good when you help others feel good. All day long, we are either filling up or dipping into each other's buckets by what we say and what we do. Try to fill a bucket and see what happens. You love your mom and dad. Why not tell them you love them? You can even tell them why. Your caring words will fill their buckets with joy. Watch for smiles to light up their faces. You will feel like smiling too. A smile is a good clue that you have filled a bucket. If you practice, you'll become a great bucket filler. Just remember that everyone carries an invisible bucket, and think of what you say or do to fill it. Here are some ideas for you. You could smile and say hi to the bus driver. He has a bucket too. You could invite the new kid at school to play with you. You could write a thank you note to your teacher. You could tell your grandpa that you like spending time with him. There are many ways to fill a bucket. Bucket filling is fun and easy to do. It doesn't matter how young or old you are. It doesn't cost money. It doesn't take much time. And remember, when you fill someone else's bucket, you fill your own bucket too. And when you're a bucket filler, you make your home, your school, and your neighborhood better places for all. Bucket filling makes everyone feel good. So why not decide to be a bucket filler today and every day? Just start each day by saying to yourself, I'm going to do something to fill someone's bucket today. And at the end of the day, ask yourself, did I fill a bucket today? Yes, I did. That's the life of a bucket filler. And that's you. Well, in today's story of Martha and Mary, we see that Martha was a bucket dipper. She was not happy and she did not do things that made her happy. And then she made other people pretty unhappy. She made Mary and Jesus, not happy with how she was behaving. Mary was a bucket filler because she sat and listened to Jesus. And that's what we need to do. We not only need to help people lovingly and with a good, kind heart, and not grudgingly like Martha, but we need to fill our bucket by sitting at the feet of Jesus, being in prayer, just hanging out with Jesus and listening to him and spending time with him. And that's how you'll always fill your bucket. So be a bucket filler and help people, but with a kind and loving heart, and willingly care for other people. And Jesus will always fill our bucket when we spend time with him. Sleep in peace. God is awake. Good night.